Let's roll on down to Durham, North Carolina right now and speak with the head football coach of the North Carolina Central Eagles, Coach Trei Oliver. Good morning to you, Coach. You look rested.
Good morning, Lynn. I am. Thank you. I am.
Coach, last time we talked, the Eagles were red hot. They were humming on all cylinders with a 4-game winning streak, averaging over 45 points a game. And then you take a week off. When things are going so well, do you like that? And how were you able to take it full advantage of the time off to prepare not only for Delaware State, but for homecoming?
Yeah, Lynn, I hope we haven't cooled off too much, man. But this week off was very productive. We had an opportunity, like I said before, to catch up on a lot of recruiting. We had a big official visit weekend, and got a lot of commitments there. So we were excited about that. And then also our community service engagement. We did over 200 hours of community service with the Emily K Center here in Durham. So really proud to see our guys get out in the community and be able to give back.
Oh, that's great, Coach. Now you got to look ahead to the matchup this week against a very much improved Delaware State Hornet team. It's going to take a great effort, but you've been a beneficiary of some great efforts so far, particularly from your quarterback and your offensive line, who's played consistently well all season. Let's talk about them and any other areas of your program that have really been performing at a high level.
Yeah, I've been pleased with our offensive line and our offensive play overall. I think those guys have done a really good job of being efficient with the football, taking care of it, and obviously scoring. And that takes a lot of pressure off you as a team when you can score points. But defensively, we've played, and a lot of guys defensively, I think we've kind of gotten a little bit better with our chemistry and our communication. And I thought we played really well defensively the last 3 weeks, and we've been solid overall all year in our kicking game. So I've seen improvement over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and we're trending in the right direction. And it's that time, it's conference play. So we're excited about it, and I believe that we're ready.
Good, Coach. Hang on just for a second. We got additional questions lined up from the media. Hey, media reps, you know the drill. Use the raise hand feature. Remain muted until you're introduced and limit your questions to one each for Coach Oliver this morning. And our first question comes from Darryl Duvall. Darryl, can you hear us? Okay, we'll come back to Darryl. Dwayne Nash, you're on.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm well, Dwayne. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, Coach, I hope what I'm about to ask doesn't sound too silly. And I know a lot of times I've asked silly things to you. You've outscored your opponents 206 to 88 in your last 4 games. Is there ever such a thing as things coming too easily offensively?
No, never. Never. I think coach is coming with a great game plan. And, folks just not laying down and letting us score. So I think our guys are doing a great job of executing, knowing their assignment, and on the perimeter making plays. But our guys' strength, for every point we're getting, we're fighting like tooth and nail for it. So I don't think anything comes easy. I think sometimes we can make it look easy, but I think it's, part of his game plan. And the second thing is our guys going out there and executing.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this week at homecoming.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Coach. The next question comes from Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Oliver, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Wayne. How you doing, man?
Doing very well. So I said last week that I would ask you about this particular game this week. So now we're this week against Delaware State. So keeping up with the culture over scheme moniker that you have made famous. This team that's coming in, they know that everyone knows they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. With that being said, what's the mindset of your defense heading into this week, and what was the preparation over that bye week in addition to an offense that averaged 317 yards rushing?
That's a big number, man. 317 yards. I think it might be 327 though, but
sorry, 327. You're right.
Yeah, I've done my homework. We've researched it. I've seen every yard of it. But our guys defensively know we have a huge task at hand. They're big and physical up front, and they have 2 really good running backs, and not to mention their quarterback, the Bennett kid. But Gillis kid and Jones, these guys are big, physical, and have great speed. They have great patience, great vision, great balance. They're the total package, and we're gonna have our hands full trying to slow these guys down. But our defense is up for the challenge. our defensive line is up for the challenge. They know what's at stake, they know what's going on, and they're going to be tested. And for us to be able to win this football game, obviously, like you said, everybody knows they're going to come in here and try to run the football. But our D-line is ready for the challenge. And, we're still working on the game plan with it, but they're efficient. And this is probably the most efficient running team I've seen in my coaching career. They're averaging over 7 yards a carry. That's like almost a first down every time they run the ball. So I haven't seen anything like it, but we're going to be tested this week.
Well, Coach, everybody's looking forward to this one, and I know you are and your players are too. So good luck this week there as you take on this Delaware State team.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Coach. The next question comes from Doc Holliday. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Coach Oliver. How you doing today?
I'm well, Doc. How you doing?
Hope you enjoyed your bye week. You got homecoming coming up. Just to get piggyback what Wayne was talking about as far as with the rushing goes, like you're dealing with a three-headed monster with Bennett, Jones, and Gillis. What are you telling actually your offense? Because your offense could be quick strike at times to try to sustain drives to keep the opponent's offense off the field.
Well, we're not going to do that. Sometimes people do try to take the air out of the ball and slow stuff down to keep the opponent on the sideline. We're going to play football and score points. So, if you score points and if you can get up on a team that likes to run the ball, hopefully you can, put some pressure on them and make them do something they don't want to do. But, we know what's going on. We got to come out here and play a physical brand of football, which we traditionally do. And we can't let them folks knock us off the ball. They've been mistreating people in them trenches the early part of the season. So we got to come to play and play very physical, knock folks back, and get us to the football. Simple as that, and we must tackle well. But we're excited for the challenge. Looking forward to it.
Host, do I have a chance for another question, or can I swing back around?
We'll swing back around if we got time. Okay, Doc?
Cool.
All right, on to you now, James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone on campus are well. Can you talk about your offensive side of the ball as you look forward to this homecoming game against Dale State, Harris and Rogers, and the way you guys want to play the game?
Yes, the guys have really played well, complimenting on that side of the ball. You don't know who's going to step up week by week. It's all about guys trying to play as hard as they can. And then, we say the ball finds energy. But, every week is a different receiver that's had a huge breakout game, from Chauncey Spikes to Mekhi Wall to Chance Peterson to Nassim Crosby. It's been a bunch of guys that have really stepped up. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Walker does a great job of not forcing the ball and has been letting the game come to him. And I think that's why we've been so efficient. When you're disciplined in your reads, you're disciplined with your assignments, and guys are playing hard even when they're not getting the ball, good things happen. And I think that's why we've had a chance to be so efficient and score points offensively.
Good luck this week, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, James.
Okay, Coach, the next question comes from Ray Rogers from the Urban Sports Team.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Hey, so quick question, because Lynn, you set the stage. Good morning to you too. You said it's a much improved Delaware State team coming in, and I feel like Delaware State has been a big story for the MEAC prior to the season starting, and now because of the way they played. So, Coach, my question to you is, do you feel like that gives your team sort of an edge or motivation for homecoming, because you want to remind people that you've been one of the top teams in the conference for the last several years?
Yeah, we've been one of the top teams in the conference, no doubt. But I like challenges. I like competition. And I've seen some of these people who they playing for homecoming. We're not going to call any names, but they playing some folks I ain't never heard of, but we'll leave that alone. We like competition. I like the fact that we got a good brand of football, and Delaware State has improved. That makes the whole conference better. So we're looking forward to it. And they've improved, like you said, in all three phases: offense, defense, even their special teams is playing well. And I think that they're a very, very good coach football team. He's done a great job putting the staff together, and I've been impressed with them.
All right, well, good luck, Coach. We expecting a shootout.
A shootout? We play a little defense here too in Durham, man. Don't do us like that. It won't be a shootout.
All right, thanks for that. Thanks, Ray. On to you, Brandon King.
Good morning, Mr. Lynn. Good morning, Coach Oliver. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Brandon King with Inside HBCU Sports Lab and SneakerShopTalk.com. Wanted to ask you about one of your players, Mr. Cosby. You mentioned him earlier. Came across a fascinating highlight regarding him, some of the perseverance and that he's dealt with fighting through injuries and just things of that nature. Can you just talk about the perseverance and the tenacity that he's shown on and off the field and how that impacts not your team, but your program as a whole?
I think that shows a lot of the program and who we are. It's about developmenting guys. And, he was a walk-on, like so many other guys we have on our team. Max Urin was a walk-on. There's a lot of guys that came in here, weren't getting any money. They want an opportunity to play. Thomas Carroll, our strength coach, came in, developed these young men. And now, they're playing well, not just getting playing time and starting, but, top of the conference in certain areas. But, he's a guy, he's a warrior. He comes to practice every day, works hard, doesn't say a whole lot, but brings great energy. And we talk about your attitude and energy can be contagious. And he's one that brings people with him, and he comes out, blue collar mentality and comes work every day. Joy to be around. So, obviously it was a pleasure of mine to be able to go in, put him on scholarship because, obviously he was very deserving of it.
Thanks, Coach, for the insight and good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Coach, Steve Gaither has a question for you. Good morning, Steve.
Not every morning, Lynn. Come on, Steve. It's 2025, Steve.
Okay, I see he has his hand raised. Maybe he can't get
You
to
still
us.
trying to get over homecoming, Lynn?
He must be. Okay, let me circle back to Darryl Duvall. You had your hand raised. We called on you earlier. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had stepped away for a second. Apologize. The other guy probably did the same thing. So, hey, Coach, conference play is here, and so what is your message that you've been for the whole week that you have going to this game, Delaware State, for the team?
Let's play better this week than we did last week. Nothing changes. Obviously we want to come on and be, fast and physical football team. But it's another game. It's the next game on the schedule. And obviously, it's homecoming. But like everybody says all week, that's not for us. That's whatever. But we about to come out and play some football this weekend. That's what we're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to this game too. I think all of us are. Good luck. Good luck.
Should be a good one.
All right. Thanks so much, Darryl. I'm going to circle back to you, Doc Holliday. A quick question for you.
Yes. Coach Oliver, how do you get your team focused since I know we talked about this last week with homecoming and all the festivities that's going on this week that leads up on Saturday. But how do you get your team to stay focused and not be worried about the distractions that's on the yard right now?
I think we play well at homecoming here traditionally. But, the deal is like 24 and 23 season. You have good football teams and lose one game. And we're at the house watching on TV. So, it's easy to keep them focused. They understand what the task at hand. We're a conference play. And obviously Delaware State is one of the hottest teams in the conference right now. And these guys are playing with a whole lot of confidence. And that's one thing. Confident teams are very, very dangerous. They play at a very high level, and they're going to come in here, trying to knock us off and, spoil our homecoming. But we gotta play well and play our brand of football, and I think we'll be fine.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Our final question for you this morning comes from Dr. Kenyatta Cavill. Good morning to you, Doc.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Coach Oliver, as well.
Good morning.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach, you don't have to get all serious when you get to me asking a question. I know you're ready to go and
Don't
get
do that.
set up.
I got through Stephen Gaither. His I guess his dial-up won't working this morning. So,
Well, as you said, they just figured out homecoming, so he looks excited that they did well at the Rams down there. So you know how that goes.
right.
With that being said, I wanted to ask you in terms of the long non-conference schedule. How do you break that up over your experience now that you've done this several iterations? Are there any different preparations that you change, or is this just fundamentally what you've always held true in terms of a football game, preparing for it, and doing all the X's and O's and doing what you regularly do to get ready for a football game, regardless of who's the opponent conference or non-conference?
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been a long, rough non-conference schedule. From a traveling perspective to the teams that we played, we've been tested, and that's a good thing. Obviously it's going to make you ready for conference play. But it's been a long, I guess 6 games now, 7 games, whatever it is. But I do think that we're battle tested. We've seen a lot of different, brands of football, a lot of different schemes on both sides. And I think I know our guys are ready for conference play. And it's just going to be, limiting our mistakes. And, we got to play physical football and be intentional with everything we do. But the guys are excited. We got 1 or 2 guys back healthy. We got a bunch of guys banged up. We got 1 or 2 guys back. And they're in a good place. They're excited to put on the show this weekend.
Thank you, Coach. Lynn, did you see the message that Stephen Gaither was able to put in there?
No, I did not. Let me double check it.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
You don't have to.
How do you keep your team from being overconfident? You rolled up with backups and smacked them last year. Is that where culture over scheme comes in? This is from Steve Gaither, HBCU Game.
We definitely, like I told y'all last week, we haven't done anything. We're 0-0 in conference play. Everybody's, on the same level. We're not overconfident. Our guys are humble and hungry, and we're locked in. And I guess that is a part of our, culture over scheme. But this ain't the same Delaware State team that we played last year. They are a much improved team across the board, like I said, and well coached. I mean, these guys do a really good job of attacking you defensively. They got a plan. Coach Washington understands how to get numbers and gain leverage on the edge. So they know what they're doing, and they got a great coaching staff, like I said. But we got to come up with a great game plan here, and I guarantee you that we will not be overlooking Delaware State.
I agree. Thank you, Coach, and get you out of here and pass it back to you, Lynn. Steve Gaither did want you to know that, and yes, he had a ball in Winston.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Doc and Steve and the rest of you. Coach, that's it for us today. We give you some time back this morning. And as you all know, North Carolina Central, after a week off, is back in action this week. They're going to enjoy homecoming festivities, but then they got a big ball game hosting Delaware State Saturday, October 25th in Durham, North Carolina, 1 p.m. kickoff on ESPN+.